Welcome to the Entertainment Rants podcast, your number one source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola and his fellow ranters as they sound off on the latest movies, TV, and the world of entertainment. Now, here are your ranters for the hour, Marco, Mila, Larry, and Bruno.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants podcast. I am, as always, your host, Marco Mazzola, and we are here today with some extra ranters and our regular ranters, and we are back, baby.
We're back.
We're back.
Woo-hoo.
We are back. Let's go around the room and introduce everybody. Hello, Larry.
Hey.
Hey, Quinn.
Hello.
Q199 in the house. Hey, Mila.
Ew.
And Bruno.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
I was waiting for
I am
it.
not entertained. How's that?
All right.
I was not
Are you not entertained?
So let's get into it
you
because
beat me.
this is going to be an interesting episode, I think. Please, Lord, I got some popping and farting over here. Checked it and still doing it. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's get into it. We're talking about Gladiator 2 today.
Yes.
It's our first episode of the year. First episode in quite a while.
Quite some time.
Give us a second to stretch our podcasting muscles and get back into this shit and see how we do. All right?
Let's get into it.
We got a schedule now, gang. We actually have a schedule of recording.
What?
So maybe we can be regular for 2025. It was not regular for
always
2024.
good to be regular.
It is good to be regular, and on the whole preparation.
More fiber.
All right, let's do it. So let's go around the room and first we need a tail of the tape. Let's do a tail. Oh, this was directed by Ridley Scott. Why did I think it wasn't?
I don't know.
Because it was so bad.
There you go. So we got Bruno's take on this movie.
God,
Let's go for it. Let's give some cast before we do it. Our main star, Paul Mescal. We got Denzel Washington. It's kind of a decent cast.
No.
Okay, good talk, Bruno. Pedro
Just
Pascal,
kidding.
who I like. Connie Nielsen's in it. Joseph Quinn. There's some good names in there. Matt Lucas, who, if you know, Doctor Who, with
Matt
David.
Lucas?
Yeah, the bald guy.
Oh, he was in this? I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
he's the guy who's the announcer.
He's the announcer, yeah.
He's the announcer at the Coliseum.
Oh, you know what? Oh my God, no,
plays
I
those
definitely.
really
I
know
recognize
now.
him right away. What the hell?
I
You're the
remember
Doctor
now.
Who fan. How did you
No,
not?
he looked familiar, but he doesn't like ring Doctor Who bells for me. But he definitely, I do.
It's the only place I really know him
Which
from.
guy in Doctor Who?
Huh?
Which person in Doctor Who?
Oh, you haven't gone there yet.
The bald guy.
Yeah, you haven't gone there yet.
He's a bald guy.
Anyway, this movie came out in 2024. It's rated R, 2 hours and 28 minutes. All right, let's go around, not starting with Bruno. And, you know what? Fuck it. Let's start with Bruno. Bruno, thoughts on Gladiator 2?
I mean, did you see Gladiator 1?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up to Gladiator 1 if it's not Gladiator 1.
What I'm saying is it was just a remake, a poorly done remake of Gladiator 1. It was...
Someone's doing something. Could be because we have the splitters on. Anyway, go ahead, Bruno. Sorry about that.
It's always the splitters.
That was the damn splitters.
It was a steaming, burning, heaping pile of garbage.
You again.
You.
It's you again. Stop touching your shit. I know that's hard.
I think I had that mic last time.
I know.
But I like touching.
I know. Stop touching the mic. Go ahead, Bruno.
Oh, that.
You've been talked to before about that.
Yeah.
I know. Twice on Sundays. I get it. Fuck it, Sunday. Shit.
I look, from the start, it was absolutely poorly written. I think it was completely miscast. I think the acting was. I mean, some of the actors, the better actors, did what they could, but nothing shined out. There was no character development. I couldn't have cared less about any of the characters. There was no motivation for Mescal's Lucius. His revenge plot, like there was nobody cares about that. There was like the clown twin emperors, didn't fucking resonate. The only thing that was kind of cool was they brought back Lucius's mother. What's her name? Connie
Connie Nielsen.
Connie Nielsen.
Yeah.
She did a good job, but there's only so much you can do. The story was just plot holes everywhere. It was like written by a 5-year-old who was like, I know what we'll do. We'll just write the same thing. It was essentially A New Hope, right? Like it was the Star Wars version of A New Hope, and then
Force Awakens,
and the Force Awakens.
It
was the same thing. It was Gladiator 1, which was incredibly well done, incredibly well acted. It was well cast. It was the cinematography was fantastic. The cinematography here was was very good. Like the visuals were well done and incredible, but the fucking baboons was a goddamn joke.
That was the first thing I wrote down. I go, are they vampire baboons? What are these fucking
what
things?
the fuck was that?
Baboons.
It was absolute fucking garbage. And I measure how good or bad a film is by how many times I go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I had to
There's a lot of
clock like
WTFs
5
in
or
this movie
6.
for this movie.
Yeah, there was a couple,
At a very minimum. Just the only thing I could point to that was decent was like the cinematography. Like the battle was really cool to look at. I didn't see it on the big screen, but if I'd seen it on the big screen, that would have been really cool, right? But like the plot starts with the only woman archer in the whole place, and then she dies, and then fucking Denzel Washington, who is essentially an owner of a gladiatorious, training ground, is it like an expert archer where he hits the guy in the middle. He hits fucking the mother in the middle of the chest, smack center from up on top of the viewing thing.
Well, he was a gladiator himself. He was a
Fuck
servant.
off.
He was owned by.
Yeah, I get it.
by
Well,
mercenaries.
pretty much most of the gladiators
fucking terrible.
were soldiers at some point.
Yeah.
Most, not all of them.
But,
Some were just vagrants, as
archery-
they said, things like that.
Archery at the time was it still is a very specialized thing. You don't
And
just
the
like,
thing is-
I did it a little bit and then now I'm just amazing at it. Like, no, that was an incredibly good shot. He
it
shot
was like-
over his shoulder.
And it went like a little, and it was like kind of horizontal. So like,
There's no way if
Yeah.
it came
The
down
angle.
from up high, there would have
it
been
would
a
have had
bit
to have
different.
bounced off the ground and hit her.
Yeah, it would have been a different
Yeah, it was
angle.
I was like, when he was firing at him, I was like, no, don't hit, or like, don't make it center of mass. Like, don't tell me he's gonna make the shot. And it was like, boom, right
Dead
in the
center,
middle. Like,
yeah.
if I had taken
Right
a
in the
tape
X.
measure, I couldn't have gotten it more centered on her body. And
Yeah, the people who did the CGI probably should have like skewed it just a little bit.
I mean, come on.
Just not put it in.
No, but if you got to make like that's the
Well,
next
they're like,
plot of
she's
the
got
story.
to die,
That's
right? Part of
she
that,
has
like,
to
try
die.
to
So he,
advance the plot. But it was
right to make him
fucking-
go
Advance the
after.
plot was the end of the movie.
Well, he had to have another reason to go after Denzel.
She had
you know
to
what I mean?
die. She was the mother figure.
Yeah, she had.
She
to
was-
die.
She was the only parental figure left. She had to die.
I mean, there's so many things from Denzel's American accent to
Which I always bump into when like the entire cast has an accent and then one
my
person. I had the same problem. We know this from Man in the Iron Mask.
yeah.
Right, John Malkovich
Yeah.
is like, that's
Yeah.
your plan.
Oh
Everyone's
yeah!
like French.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, you didn't even try.
Terrible.
But knowing
All
that
of
he
it.
can't pull off accents because we saw him in Rounders, like, don't bother.
It's terrible. It's terrible. So they probably did. They were like,
The
"That's
acting
terrible."
coach, the little
Yeah.
speech coach, is like, nah, don't worry
Fine.
about it. Forget it.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out.
Ah, whatever.
I'm not charging for this one. I'm
I'm
out.
sure no one will notice.
Yeah, I mean, but primarily, I'm always focused on the writing. The writing was so
Neil and I
bad.
talked about that. The
Yeah.
writing was
Like, I want to hop on
different-
that train, yeah,
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
I thought the writing was like so like it was subpar and it was forgettable.
Yeah.
But like for me, it was the dialogue that was like
I mean, hand in
it
hand
was
with
so
dialogue.
bad. There was like it was not creative. It wasn't deep.
Super
and,
troped up.
And I was like, when like he said the poem at one point, I was like, wow, these are really cool words. I'm sure this came from something. And then someone goes, oh, a poet. And I go, yeah, that was from somebody else wrote that.
But that's the thing, right? Like,
was a plot
they just
device.
threw that bullshit.
Also, I'm sorry. There was a
Poem in there.
quote that I wrote down because I was like, I'm not letting this slide by. It was, rage pours out of you like milk from a whore's tit. I'm like, what? What does that mean?
That
Like,
was when
what?
Denzel was talking to
Yes,
Lucius, right?
yeah.
So
And he's like, you're so full of rage.
have you guys
so
ever
full
seen
of
the Spartacus
milk.
series from like 2004 or 5?
Wait,
So
Spartacus?
the Spartacus series from like 2004
No.
or 5.
No, never saw it.
It was really, really good if you want to see it was definitely like extra blood because like you would think by watching that series that everybody walks around with a mouthful of blood and then the next time they get hit it just shoots out.
Yeah.
But the character development was incredible. The acting was really good. The fight scenes were fun to watch. And there's a scene in that when Batiatus, who was the owner of the gladiatorial training in that show, was talking to Spartacus, who was like the rebel gladiator, and their whole dialogue goes exactly the way Denzel's did with Lucius. It was exactly almost not word for word, but certainly like phrase for phrase.
It is beat for beat.
Except in that original Spartacus dialogue, it was better in every way. It was longer, it was deeper, it was more meaningful. He used better words. And this was a pale fucking version, to the point where like I watched the movie with my wife. She was like, "Let's see Gladiator 2." I was like, "Yeah, it should be really cool." Like, sword and sandal shit is right up my alley. So I was like, this will be great. I'm really excited about this. And so
you like the first one,
as
so.
he was saying this to Lucius, I was like, fuck you, whoever wrote this. You saw Spartacus and just were like, let me go get that dialogue and I'll paraphrase.
Yeah.
So I was so fucking
ChatGPT
bullshit.
that shit.
Yeah, and then at the end of the movie, I know I'm kind of ranting right now, but like literally Entertainment
Wait, what
Rants.
show is this again?
At the end of the movie,
The Entertainment Rants podcast.
We hadn't yet had the
No idea
conversation.
how I did that, but today, shit.
We hadn't yet had the conversation between us ranters that we were going to do Gladiator 2. And I got up and I literally like threw a pillow across the room. My wife was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm so fucking bullshit."
2
But
hours,
that
38
movie
minutes, I'm not getting back.
was so bad. I want that time back, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh man, that's, and I went on. I ranted for like 30 minutes to my wife, and she's, bless her heart, she's just so patient. She's like, I'm just gonna let him speak his piece and be done. And then like it was the next day when Marco was like, all right, we're gonna do Gladiator 2. And I was like, fuck yes, yes. And I went to my wife. I was like, guess what I'm gonna get to do? Rip a new one for these assholes through the like. I just can't. I can't. It was so bad.
Quinn?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
I saw only a couple points in the whole movie, and they were all called swords.
Yeah.
Larry? Moving on.
I don't know if I was as angry about the movie as Bruno, but I wasn't expecting much out of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And this plays right into my whole theory of movies waiting way too long to come out with a sequel. You're losing. From Gladiator 1 to Gladiator 2, it's been like 20 years.
Counterpoint though.
Okay.
Top Gun and Top Gun 2.
Okay.
They did a
Yeah,
good
They
job.
did a great fucking
They
job
both
with
had Tom
that.
That one
Cruise.
was
I don't know
awesome.
how they did that, but that was a great job.
But that was exceptional.
Yeah,
right?
that was like-
that's the
That-
exception.
that's rare, though. You're right.
But that's the outlier, though.
Because then
Yeah.
you've got
that's
things like
exception.
Avatar and Avatar 2. That was
know,
like
I
so
thought-
long
What
in
about
between.
3 through
2
17?
was-
We'll wait for those.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't seen Avatar.
No,
2
just
yet,
the, no,
but-
no, on back on like Gladiator, like you lost the.
Yeah,
Like,
there was
oh
so
yeah,
much.
that movie about the blue people. Like they made another one.
Yeah, you forget
Yeah.
what they did. Yeah.
With the Gladiator 2, it's just like, for me, they waited too long for it. I was kind of, when I first heard about it, I was kind of excited, going, oh shit, Denzel Washington? Like, that's a bad man. Like, I like watching his movies.
He's usually good, right?
He's usually
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, I think that the actors that were here, the good ones, did what they did with what
Did
they
the best
had.
they
And
could.
I think that's, I don't know if Denzel Washington phoned it in or not, because there were certain parts I was like,
I
okay,
don't-
but there was parts of it that I was
think
like,
the writing
I
was
didn't,
bad.
I think the writing was bad. His mannerisms really bothered the fuck out of me with his
Yeah.
robes and this.
Well, did you see how he
Way
felt
too much.
uncomfortable in his
It
robes?
was
Way too much.
I had to pause it. And
Way too much fucking around
I was
with the
really
robes.
to my
There was a lot of-
wife. I was like, I can't stand how he's clearly uncomfortable in that robe. Like,
Yeah.
he kept adjusting.
It's constant with
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, I don't
That's funny
understand.
that
Like,
I-
why
like,
are you?
I
Over his
noticed that
arms,
too.
the ones that hang
Yeah.
over his arms, and they go, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Oh yeah, he was
wasn't-
so he was like
He wasn't used to
He
it.
looked uncomfortable with his costume.
Outfit, yeah.
Now, if that's what he was supposed to be, like kind of like maybe like half eccentric, no.
I didn't get that vibe, yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but I don't like Pedro.
he was eccentric, but he was calculated.
Pascal. I don't like him. I don't think he's a good actor, and I'm so gonna get roasted on it.
No, you're not going to get roasted. I thought,
Everything I've seen
I'm
him
gonna
in,
roast the shit. No shit.
nothing he's done has made me go, "Wow, this guy's a great actor." But yet everybody
Yeah.
loves this
you
guy.
should see Last of Us. That was pretty
No,
good.
I
thought he
just
did a
don't
good
think he
job
has a
on
lot
that.
of range. Kind of like
Yes.
a Ryan Reynolds situation where it's like, yeah, you're good at like that exact
You're playing
thing.
Ryan Reynolds. You're
But like you
playing Ryan
can't. Like I don't see a lot of
Like Dwayne
range.
Johnson.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Okay, but then, all right, then I
think
question.
He's good at
Go ahead.
Pedro Pascal, which was not
Okay,
his
then-
strong suit
okay,
for this
so then
movie.
what
I don't
is-
get that vibe from him. I don't get it.
Really?
I don't see him as a Denzel, where Denzel just plays Denzel. I think Pedro is a better actor than I think he was miscast in this.
That's what I am thinking.
The first time I saw Pedro Pascal he was in Game of Thrones when he was playing like the hotshot young guy from Dorne.
That's right. He was from the other island.
Yeah.
He was good in that.
He was incredible in that. In fact, it stood out. I was like, who is this actor?
Yes,
He's
that's
so
right. That's
fucking
right.
good.
That's right.
And then he's gone on. I think he's just getting miscast.
But that's the only thing I like.
Yeah.
He was the brother. He was a really good. That's right. That's right.
Because the mountain killed
and he crushes his
with the eyes. Yeah.
It's one of those like popularity castings.
Well,
like he's
for
popular right
hot.
now.
It's like when Zendaya was getting cast for all the
Or
bullshit.
like
She was
Tom
miscast.
Holland. They're putting him in movies he should not have been in.
Right.
Yeah,
that
it's
happens.
just hot. It's just
Which is a shame because they're good actors.
wait
They
a
just
minute.
keep putting them in
But
the
I
wrong
think
things.
he was miscast for that role. I don't buy him as a war-hardened general. Right? He just doesn't carry that for me.
Okay, so this one I don't think he did well in. Wonder Woman, he didn't do well
That
in.
was a suck movie from the beginning.
No one did well in that
As
movie.
quote unquote the Mandalorian, it was his voice.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
I like that he was able to act the way he did.
Yeah, I thought the voice
So-
was good for the role.
Oh, he did a good job
But it's
with
not
that.
really him in the suit.
But it's not him in the suit though, so it's not like he's
was
acting.
first season him in the suit.
Well, there's
I think
a lot
part
of
of it, and then like
There's a lot of action, so you don't
little bit.
expect that, right? So that's why whenever people talk about, oh, that person's great, I'm like, they were in the mask the whole time. Like, it wasn't them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
for
I know,
instance,
it's his
it was
voice.
James.
Check
it
out
wasn't
Last
James
of Us. That was
so here's the
decent.
thing about The Last of Us, and everybody talks about that. For me, The Last of Us, that is strictly for your gamers that like the game. I've never played
So
the game.
I've never played the game
And
either.
I'm not a big zombie apocalypse like that.
No,
shit.
me
Like that
neither.
doesn't bite.
No,
So
no.
for me, that doesn't.
But did you see the series?
No, because
Oh,
it's the
okay.
same reason why I don't watch Will Ferrell. I don't like Will Ferrell.
So yeah, I hear you, man. So I would say I'm in the same boat. I'm not a big zombie guy, and I've never played Last of Us, so I didn't know anything about it. I happened to watch it with my buddy who was like, "Oh, this show is just really good," and the show was well written and it was well acted. So like the first couple episodes, 2 or 3 episodes are like zombie-ish. Then after that, it becomes like a really good story that they write between this guy who's kind of protecting this girl, and he does a good job of that. But I think that's the kind of character he's good at. I don't see him as a war-hardened general. I don't see him as like a combat guy. He doesn't, emote that for me, and you're probably picking up on that too in this.
Yeah, I didn't think he was good in this.
Yeah.
The guy
he
that
doesn't
played.
play
It
hard
shocked
ass
me
very
that he
well.
was a general
He
in this. I was
He's
like,
not hard ass.
Pedro
He's
Pascal's
like
as a general.
helpful father, right?
Yeah,
He's like,
he plays the more calm, relaxed, laid back guy.
Yeah,
really,
or the
really
hot
well.
shot in Dorne from
Yeah.
Dorne
Yeah.
in Game of Thrones. I thought he was incredible in that.
Just miscast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
this whole thing. I mean,
personally, I love the movie, so I'm not just fucking around.
it was cool to see the mother come back. I was like, oh, thank you for the callbacks.
Yes, that was good.
Thank you for tying that in.
That's what I was talking to me
That was
about. I
cool.
liked
That was cool.
I
That
liked
was cool
the
to see
fact
her.
that even though the script wasn't great, I liked that it was a continuation of the first one and not like, oh, we just have a whole new set of gladiators now and there's nothing to do with the first one, because they do that a lot in movies, especially when it's 19 year
I
gap.
think
That
or
would've
20 year
been
gap. Like,
so
yeah.
tried
important
to
thing to
continue
me.
the story, but like they didn't. They just said, "Oh, this is the son coming back 16 years later," and there he goes. She recognized it was her son because he picked up the fucking gravel.
And he said the quote.
He was standing in the middle thing, and I stood up to my wife. I was like, "If he fucking grabs the gravel, I swear to God."
But he said the poem.
through the fuck.
He said the poem.
It was the poem
Fuck,
because she was
no.
like,
It was the poem
and
that
then
got-
recited what he said.
Yeah.
It was
No,
still,
but the moment that she steps in, when he first walks in, he looks up at her. She kind of like eyeballs him, like, huh. But when he does do that, because the camera purposely goes to him, and when he does that, she kind of like pauses. She's like, oh, that's fucking Maximus's
yeah,
move.
but why did Maximus do it? Right? It was great in the first Gladiator because he's like,
It's like chalk for rock climbing, I think.
no,
What?
No, it
this
was to be
him
one with-
like
one to be
evaluating.
with.
This is like him contemplating his life. Like he was, in sand as it pours through his hands. Like you can't. There's so many allegories there.
Well, you also see that when in the first one, you see him do that before he goes into battle.
Yeah, it's kind of like his ritual.
That's kind of his thing,
That's
right?
like
that
his
was
ritual.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
not like a genetic thing. It's not like if my dad did that, I would suddenly just
Yeah,
have a
but maybe-
Not unless you
but
saw
maybe
him
he
do it
saw
time
him
and time
do it.
again, you might pick up on it then. Like, oh, this is what he
guess.
does. You kind of like
I just thought it was
imitate.
really
you know what I mean?
poor.
That was reaching.
But
I
no,
saw
but,
that
the,
too.
but
Yeah.
you're
I was like,
right.
right.
You're right, because his son never saw him really do it. Maybe at the
You can justify it.
Did he see
I
him
hear
do it
you.
during this
Yeah.
last battle? Because wasn't his son there?
Probably.
Lucius
he
was
was
there.
there.
and He saw him do it.
So that's another plot
Saw
issue.
him once, and then like 19 years later, remember that and does
Didn't
it.
his son leave when he was 12, right? He knows what his mother looked like because he was fucking 12.
Yeah.
So like 12 is a young adult. You're not It's not like he left when he was 3 and you don't remember
Yeah.
faces. So then he comes back, he doesn't recognize his mother.
No, he
She
did.
confronts
He did.
him.
No, he did.
He did.
Oh,
He just-
absolutely, he did.
No, remember he
100%
said
he did.
the person who is here is not the
Yeah,
person
because
that
the
left.
moment that she walked, he was
I
like,
get
he's
it,
dead.
but
Yeah.
he was like, "What do you want?" And she's like, "Well, I'm your mother." And she's like, "No, fuck off," like this and that. Like first,
Well,
he
he
No,
was
was
pissed.
so hold on, wait. So let
was
me
pissed.
speak on that.
All right.
Let me speak on that. I 100% understand where he's coming from. 100% because she left him. She pushed him away.
She pushed him
and
away.
she's like, I'll come back for you
And
when it's
never
time.
did.
And never
Okay,
did.
pause right there. Pause.
Because
pause.
she chose Rome
When
over
she
him.
left him, I hear you. When she left him, she said, "You're going to be safe. This is for your own good." If he was 5, that's a different message he gets than when he's 12.
Okay.
When you're 12, like
12, I'd still be pissed.
look, I get it, but when you're 12, believe me, like my kid is 9, and I can have conversations with him, not quite at that gravity, right? I'm not leaving you for whatever, but like, you start to get a feel for like what a 9-year-old, a 10 or 12-year-old kid is capable of comprehending. And if I were to say to my son at 12, now he might not be like everybody, but like I would say, look, this is for your safety. I love you. I'm gonna come get you, or whatever I say. I'm not doing this because I don't like you. I'm doing this to keep you safe and out of harm's way. He would get that. He
you
might
think?
still, yes.
No,
Can
I
I
can tell you right
interject?
now.
She
My
did.
9-year-old would get
She did marry the one who killed his wife.
Or ordered the killing.
But that just happened. He didn't,
No, I get what you're saying, but I think part of
He
it
has
is,
a lot
and
of
part of it, I
reason to
think
be
you're
pissed
right.
at her, I think.
at some way a child of 12 would hear it and be able to comprehend it, but after so much time and she never came back as she said she was going to,
And
at
he
some
was-
point
how
you
old
start to internalize.
22, right? Was it
28.
28.
I think they said it was either 16 or 19 years
16
later, right?
years
16 years
later.
later. So like it's 16 years, like, oh, this bitch ain't ever coming back. Maybe it was me. Maybe she was lying and she doesn't love me. Or, you know what I mean? Like, and now he's had a whole life, right? And because don't forget, this is like Roman times. It wasn't people living to 90 years old. You know what I mean? Like you were a man at 12 years old, 13 years old, essentially.
Yeah.
So, and now he's 16 years later. Like, this bitch ain't coming back. Like, fuck her. Like, I've had a whole life. I had a wife, a
get
kid
it.
that just got killed, and you want to be to what? Just accept you after you threw me away and never came back for me because
right.
you said you would. But I think you're right. Initially he'd understand. This is for my safety. Mom needs me to go, but she's coming back. She's gonna come get me.
Yeah,
She
but
never
16
did.
years later, she never did. She
Never did.
continued,
It's like, all right, well,
her
at
life and
some
let him
point,
go.
and we don't know because of lack of character development. We don't know
was no
everything.
character development.
Right.
That's the
We
problem.
don't know everything he went through because we can't. Like, how long is
Yeah.
the fucking movie gonna be? We can't know everything that he went through in those 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
but
got-
become
he
hardened
left,
and be like, fuck this
present
bitch.
day.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what happened in those 16 years to him to be like, fuck this bitch. You know what I mean?
But I mean,
but he got there.
But on the
He got there at
surface,
the beginning.
though, but on the surface, you see what had happened, and you see when she walked. He knew exactly who she was.
Yeah.
She was when he walked. He looked right up at her. He's like,
Yeah.
And then she goes to see him, and
Yeah,
he's
she looks
like,
at her,
he
he looks at Pedro
And even
Pascal's
said,
character, he looks at everybody.
Yeah, he says the boy that you pushed away isn't here anymore. So he
Yeah.
knew exactly.
Yeah.
That was
out
at the
gate.
end. That was the end of the conversation, right? That was like
That was
I don't know
towards
how long-
that was towards the
like right at the
beginning.
beginning.
When she was trying to,
She
like, the
just
first
walked
time she
in.
went to
That
go
was
see
at
him in the
beginning to
cell.
middle.
Yeah,
Beginning to
yeah,
middle.
like that conversation itself wasn't like a 3-hour dialogue. It was
No,
like
no, it was 5-10 minutes or
Yeah,
whatever,
but
but-
it happens like right out the
Yeah.
gate. And he's like, and when she finally, he's like, "Get away from me!" It's mad. I know what that feel. I know what that
gotcha.
feeling
All right,
is. So
all right.
to sit there and say, "No, he didn't know," like he didn't know. No, he knew
I don't know.
exactly
I
what he
just,
was.
I
He
guess
knew. But
for me,
again,
it felt
it's-
like just
But
more.
so it goes back to what you were saying, though. The fact that you didn't see all that is just piss poor writing. I think it's piss poor
there was
writing. I
no
think it's like there
development.
wasn't development.
There
There
was no
wasn't
development.
enough of that for you to be able to like really get and move on with that part of the story. It was a little bit ambiguous in some places.
But you really need that much background when you go, okay, like, because they kind of fill in. They show you that she sent him away.
Yeah, they show you some of the history.
So but you know what you know is that she sent him away and never went back for him. I don't really think that you need that much of a backstory for
Okay,
it.
that's
though.
fine. I'll accept that. I will accept that. So let's
Keep talking. I wanna see how long Quinn keeps his
roll
hand
it
up.
forward
test.
for a little bit. So he
wants the
starts
second
off,
degree.
somewhere in the middle
Yeah,
of
he
that
puts it
movie.
down, fuck it.
Absolutely, like I'm not the same guy. I'm mad at you, Mom. Fuck Rome. Like everything about his life. His entire life was about fuck Rome, right? Mm-hmm. 10 minutes later, I'm gonna die for you, Mom, which I can kind of see that. Here's your mom now. You connected with her. You don't want her to die. And then he's like, I'd fucking die for Rome, and I'd die for the dream of Rome. All of a sudden, like.
Oh, no,
it
but he was talking
such
about that the
a
whole
turn.
time.
No, he was not.
He was talking about his grandfather and
his-
the dream that he had.
His
And that's when what's his name? Denzel was like, your grandfather's dream is fucking bullshit. It's not gonna happen.
Yes.
Like this is my dream now, motherfucker. So
I know.
Although
he was talking about that
again,
dream for a while.
It was just bad writing.
Because it did seem like how early did
Nobody
Denzel's
was
character pick
invested
up
in.
on who he was? He seemed to know pretty early on that he knew who he was.
I don't think he knew early.
No, he didn't know.
No.
He knew. I think he knew at the point when it was like, how old would Lucius be if he was still alive?
That's when he was drinking with his buddy, and they were
Yeah,
talking.
but later,
Yeah.
Denzel's character goes, "What's your real name?" And
Yeah.
then he was talking about it. So I don't think he knew at all.
No, he didn't.
Until
He didn't,
much later.
He didn't know. Right. He didn't
He
know.
suspected.
I don't think he
I don't think he
suspected.
He knew he was somebody. He
just thought he was a badass. Like, this
Yeah,
guy
but
fucking
he'd
knows
been
how to
probing,
fight.
I
probing
thought
him
he
for that
just thought it was
information.
money.
So as the steps go on, as he's fighting, you're right. He thinks he's just the baddest. But when they're getting in Rome, he kind of sees the eye contact because again, the camera pins on him looking at her, and he's like, something, because she's reacting in a certain way towards him.
he's picking up
so
on
now he's picking
clues.
up on different clues
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
And then that one
But
night,
he was a smart guy. Like he was
he
manipulated the entire
Yeah.
fucking.
So
clever.
when he was talking to the drunk guy and his quarters there, he was like, so what is he was like, what is the story with her? Because he wants to know her because he's studying. He goes, it was said that she had a son. What happened to that son?
Yeah.
Like, oh well, he went away. Apparently
he
she was
starts putting it
he starts
together.
putting it- and he's like, oh, she
He's
was
working
married
the
to this one
timeline.
guy who doesn't like girls. So she was sleeping with other people, but people think that the son was the brothers, brotherly love, because he says that, and he's like, Then he goes, how old would he be right now?
Right, that's
and
when
then
he
that's
figured
when
it
he's
out.
starting to go, and I think that's fucking him.
Agreed, yeah.
So throughout the whole thing, he doesn't know. You're right. He thinks he's just a Billy badass.
Yeah.
And I actually want to fucking talk about that.
Oh boy.
He's supposed to
Here
be
we
a
go.
Billy badass. He got his ass whooped.
Oh yeah.
Bad. Like he didn't fight like he was a Billy badass.
In what fight?
At all
Which
of them.
one?
Fucking all of them. So when he fights,
No, I don't think he's like a crazy fighter. I think he was. I think he
He's a
saw
scrapper.
him as a scrapper, right? He finds a way, like one way or the other. You can see, like, if you see guys sparring in the thing, you're like, that guy's just a brute force dude, but that guy over there, he doesn't have the kicks or the punches, but boy, he finds a fucking way.
He's a
to get
tactician, he can
around.
figure it out.
Right? He and so I think
She called him Batman.
that was what that's what I was thinking he saw in
Okay.
him, right? Because you're right, he got his ass kicked. But I think that's real, because this whole concept of like this guy is such a good fighter,
He never gets
takes
touched.
a hit.
Yeah.
Like I'm
No way.
That's what
usually
makes
like,
generals.
This
Like
never
Pedro
happens.
Pascal was whipping his ass. I'm like, there's no fucking way that he beats Pedro Pascal. Right? Pedro Pascal was like, I just took out
For sure.
5
Yeah,
of my own guys. Like,
yeah.
You think
Yeah.
He's
what?
a seasoned
buddy,
general. Sure.
Like I'm gonna
He's a
smash
seasoned
you.
Only
Right.
way he could have lost is when he go, I succeed.
Yeah, like he surrenders. And yeah, the whole giving up and
And Larry's up. We can shut the
You
mic
get
down.
it now? That's how I felt when I finished watching the movie.
They could have added like a line or two in one of the flashbacks because they had a flashback of when he left like a farm after he left Rome. So he left the city to go to a farm, and then the Praetorians were coming in, so he was booted out on a horse. He could have been like, "Why is my mom not keeping me safe?" And they could have been like, "This is her keeping you safe," and that would have added at least a little bit of character development.
I mean, there was so little character development.
I feel like at
Sorry,
first,
you weren't any in.
there could
There
have been
was none.
so much, like with the length of this movie, there could have been so much character development because I feel like watching this, the first hour was useless. That honestly, the first hour could have been condensed to like, I shit you not, like 15 minutes. It was.
I think
it
it's
was.
hard. You have to
here's
make this-
20 minutes maybe.
You have
Here's
to
the
make
battle,
You
right?
have to make it longer.
The battle's important,
Yeah.
and then it's him on a boat, him going this way,
This
him
would have
walking
been better.
this way. He's
This
now
would
in a
have been better
cage.
if it was like a series.
Him going
It's
that
like 6
way.
episodes.
Yeah.
Or something where you
Yeah,
can
we could
take
kinda stretch it
an
out a little
hour
and tell
and you
the
can
story,
actually
yeah.
develop a story.
So-
This is too short. Was it an hour and a half? It was
2.5 hours.
2.5.
Oh, it's two
Two
and
and a half hours.
Yeah.
It moved. It moved.
It did move fast,
but, like,
but
it
it
moved,
did. You're
it's still not
right.
enough.
I just feel like it was just
miniseries
weird
would've
the
been
way it
tough.
moved.
Not enough time.
A
Like
miniseries.
everything happened in the second and a half hour.
I didn't feel bored watching it.
No, I was not bored.
I was
wasn't
kind of
bored, but I
bored.
really
at the
wanted
beginning.
those
I was
efforts to get the shit.
entertained.
Like I
what
didn't
I'm
like those the emperors.
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh
like them.
my God,
I
they
think
They
so
were
fucked
intended
up
to be
annoying.
like you really hate
Yeah,
them.
you were supposed to hate them.
I
They
mean,
were
played it-
annoying.
I think
They
one
were
of
childlike.
the funniest lines that the taller brother was like, I think the disease that's poisoned his loins has moved up to his head. I go, ooh, that's syphilis.
Yeah.
I know that
Although
one.
syphilis wasn't like
Who's got
discovered for another like
Syphilis.
700 years.
They probably have some
it was
groovy
likely
name for
lead
it.
poisoning.
No.
It was what poisoning?
Lead poisoning.
Lead poisoning. Yeah. There you
Also,
go.
remember when Lucius has his first combat in the Gladiatorium, and he comes out, he's got that cut on his arm,
Yep.
and the medic is sealing him. He's like, more guys dying here from infection. And infections were not known about back in Rome.
I thought
we
that
didn't
was
know this
weird.
until Louis Pasteur did it like the 1600s. Where they understood anything about
With
infections.
the milk thing.
With the milk, yeah, all that fucking bullshit. I was like, that's not a thing. No.
That's not a thing.
It's
So now-
And then sharks in the water, no.
No.
Okay, so that bumps me.
Piranha sharks.
Wait.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck outta
That
here,
whole
exactly.
scene bumped me until I did research. They
Talk to me,
actually
Bruce.
did that not the sharks, but they actually flooded the Colosseum
they
basin
did.
to recreate boat scenes.
A couple times.
A couple of times,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
timeline is off. Like, this is pretty far into the Colosseum's history. They really did it towards the beginning, and they had to stop doing it once they built like the catacombs and shit underneath.
Yeah, if
Right,
you've ever
'cause then
been
the
to
water would
Rome,
just
you go to
flood
the
it all.
Colosseum, there's catacombs underneath.
Oh, I know that there's
But
But they weren't there
Because I was
originally.
trying to figure it out. I was like, how the fuck did they get water into this place?
Well, they were really
I don't know
magical.
shit.
They were.
back
I
then.
mean, they were extremely good with aqueducts.
Like they
Yeah, they're
created
plumbing.
some of
That was
plumbing.
crazy.
I get that, but I was
Yeah,
like,
they were good plumbers.
how? How the
You should
fuck
have them
did
on
they
your
get-
crew,
I
I'm just
should.
telling you.
I was like, how the
Mario
fuck did they
would
get
be-
water?
Mario
And
would be
then
impressed.
maybe. And then the sharks, yeah. Fuck
Not
you
in
and
that
your
fucking
sharks.
movie.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your guy riding a rhino. Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the rhino was a
And the
bit much.
fucking
The rhino was
vampire
much for me.
apes.
the
What
vampire
fuck was
apes. I was like, I don't
Why did
understand
they
what's
look
happening.
like that? What was
I don't know.
that?
All I
Because
saw
Ridley
was
Scott.
mange?
'Cause
Yeah,
Ridley
I
Scott.
saw the guy who was with the darts, and I was like, oh, maybe they had like cuckoo poison in there that makes the baboons go fucking wild. But I was like,
Cuckoo
But
poison.
it
I
acts
don't-
pretty
yeah.
quickly too.
I
It
don't.
acted pretty quickly. Either
Fast
that or just
acting cuckoo
annoyed them.
poison.
I'd be bullshit if I got shot with a dart.
Yeah, you're showing ass with a dart. I'd be pretty annoyed. My problem is even as good at the archery and blowgunning, like people were really fucking accurate, and nobody got hit unintentionally.
Yeah, there were no
Do you know what I
misses.
mean? Like
There were no
when they're
misses.
like, yeah, there was
Yeah.
points where like they're shooting, like they shot Pedro Pascal with a fucking million arrows. Nobody hit Lucius.
How many did he get hit with? Like 10 or 12?
Nobody fucking hit
Every
Lucius.
single one
He
that
was
was
standing
shot
right
hit.
next to him.
Oh my
in the
goodness.
line of some of those shots.
As the emperors were like, should I kill him? I turned to my wife as like, they had better fucking hit Lucius as well.
At least
'Cause
one in the
otherwise,
leg.
This is a load of
Something.
fucking
Leg, arm.
bullshit.
Or at least the like dirt around it. Yeah,
No.
they all just
Every
pincushion
fucking
it.
hour hit him.
Not one.
But we're supposed to
Exactly.
believe that. What's
He looked like a
what's
giant
that,
pinhead.
Praetorium to
Praetorians.
Praetorians. I mean that's like the.
They are
the
very
legion.
good.
I
They
get
are
it.
The balls.
If you've ever done archery, nobody's gonna be, not all of them were gonna hit. Right on
Right.
the
This
nose.
is
They're
not
all
impossible.
like perfect shots over Lucius' shoulder. He wasn't like
Really good.
ducking his head like holy
No, he was
fuck.
fucking standing
Right?
there. And like when you see
I don't get
Pedro
it.
Pascal's character and he gets hit, even though he's on his knees, some of the shots are sticking out of him facing
Yeah.
Lucius. Like,
And
when did he go
weren't they-
through
they were
him?
only like
How the
2 or
fuck did
3
he do
feet away
that?
from each other. I mean,
Like, he had 360.
All the angles are wrong.
all the angles
He
are
had
wrong.
like
360
360 arrows.
out.
It wasn't like you see his body and there's a silhouette of Lucius with no arrows. Like,
That would've been
fucking, like,
amazing.
no, you hit him 360 degrees around this motherfucker. There's no way.
So
No
here's
way.
just
I think
one,
we got him, guys.
one comment in defense of all of that
Through the
bullshit.
legs.
Is that like Ridley Scott is kind of known for when you're watching one of his movies, you got to kind of suspend disbelief a little
Yeah,
bit, right? So I get that,
Which is where the
but
sharks come into
there's
play.
There's a limit. to
freaking
that,
lasers on
right?
their heads.
Yeah,
there's a
I
limit.
get the fact they flood the Coliseum.
Yeah.
With
And
some
bound.
jackass carrying a shark and go, here you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Fuck it in.
Rabid sharks.
rabid
like, what
sharks.
the fuck? So
But they
that's
smell
what I
that
mean.
blood
Not
in the
even
water.
now can
There's a
we keep
limit.
some of the sharks like in captivity. They'll just die anyway.
Yeah.
And
Like
we
great whites, we can't keep them in captivity because they just die,
No.
and we don't know
and we
why.
can't even get them rabid because they don't have the right like body type and blood type to get rabid because it's a disease that doesn't affect sharks.
Well, they're just angry. They're just pissy.
They're just
They're
very angry.
Very
just
angry
hungry.
shark.
Very angry.
And there was blood in the water, so they went for
They're
the blood.
hungry
That's
because they walked all the
When
way
the
from
guy
the
fell
ocean.
in, he was bleeding like a sieve. They smelled the blood and they went after him.
Yeah, fair. They
Yeah.
were land sharks.
Yeah, they didn't circle him. They just immediately
Just
dove right
chomp.
in. They didn't
Chomp,
act
chomp.
like
Right
sharks.
They're like,
They
we've
didn't-
been
No,
starving.
they were movie sharks. They were
Yeah.
trained movie sharks.
I'm waiting to see them go swim backwards.
Exactly. Dude, they just back
Can't
up. We
wait.
got him. They back up. See ya.
Call back to an
They
old.
fucking get up on the water when they're fins. Zip across. Land on the boat, yo.
And say, you know what? We're done eating you.
Yeah, we're good.
So that's kind of the Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scottness.
Call it a mulligan,
Yeah.
right? Like you're allowed because
Ridley
it's Ridley
Scottness.
Scott. You know it's going to be a little bit out there. But I felt like the Sharks were just one step too far. The arrows being at the wrong angle, not missing one, was just one step too.
Yeah, it
There's
does.
a
Just
single
a little
shot
bit.
missing that entire movie.
Not a single
No.
one.
No.
And then Denzel's shot to his mother,
Yeah.
right,
Dead center.
Yeah.
Dead center mass. It was
I was
awesome.
like-
What a shot.
Again,
What a shot from that far out.
can't count on one
that
hand
angle.
how many times I said, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like.
I mean, you could if you used binary.
But I mean, like, this is ancient Rome, right?
Yeah.
And their weaponry was amazing, things like that. There are tons of advancements, but fucking how straight were those arrows?
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like
it's incredible
you
good
fought
shots.
and you shot an arrow before.
Incredibly
It's
good
really,
shots.
back in the day, the arrows were not perfect.
Oh, no,
It's
no, the
really hard to get an
manufacturing
arrow
of them-
shot.
The manufacturing
Even
of an arrow
nowadays.
wasn't, not crazy hard to do, but I felt like just their accuracy.
Manufacturing one to go that accurate
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the first shot
Yeah.
is.
That's the point, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And consistently.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
When they're
used
just producing like big, not even with machinery. It's not like they're machined
Right.
perfectly straight. They're basically hand carved arrows.
Yeah.
The hand done arrows.
like, and I've used fiberglass arrows with a compound bow, and they were not as straight as that.
Yeah, well, you got that one cockeyed. So anyway, the point. Well, I just goes over here to the DVDs. Like, what time am I looking at? I'm helping you out. So.
I mean, even with other people, they weren't that straight.
No, they weren't. That was tough. That was tough for me. But I mean, like I said, overall, I was entertained with the movie. I didn't love it. Certainly not as much as the first
All
one.
right, when you
It
say
did-
entertained,
the fight scenes were amazing.
Okay.
I love the fight scenes, which for me, that's me.
Yeah, fight scenes were good.
The dialogue was not great, but
It
I was
was
like, all
dialogue.
right, I get what I'm coming at here. This is not going to live up to the first one. I knew that going in. I already had your pissy opinion.
you haven't seen it yet?
I hadn't seen it. No, I literally watched it last night at 10
Same.
o'clock.
I
It was
also
the
watched
first
it
time.
last night.
We all watched it last night, so this is all
okay.
with fresh eyes. That's why I have no notes. I was like, I'm not going to really need notes on this.
No, I got this.
I
got this.
watched it this morning.
I finished What If this afternoon.
I watched What If
An
this
hour
morning.
ago.
I woke up at like 5.
So yeah,
I watched the whole thing this morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. But
Spoiler,
again,
by the way.
it's not something like I would go back and watch the first one again, but I will never go back and
yeah.
watch this one again.
No.
Like, I have no reason to have seen it. I understand what happens. I'm good.
You just
I'm
don't care
kind of in
about
a
any of the
similar
characters.
like camp. Like after the first hour, I was like, I hate this.
Yeah.
But then like after that, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of hooked a little bit. All right, let's see where this goes.
What were you
know?
hooked on? Like you just didn't
I-
think
like
you
some
knew
of
where it was
the-
going to end up?
No, I knew exactly where it was going to
That's
end
what I
up.
mean, yeah.
But like,
Yeah,
But
you
I
do,
thought-
but not necessarily how they're going to get there
Yeah.
with Denzel killing
Like,
off the
I
emperors
think
by hand.
Denzel's
They didn't realize
whole
he was going to be the
story-
one who fucking offs them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's some surprises
I think,
and, like,
yeah.
twists that, like, okay, now I've seen the twist. I don't need to worry about what's going to happen again. If I go to watch it, I'm like, I already know what's going to
yeah,
happen.
everything that was going
It's
on
not
with
really about that
Denzel's
anymore.
character the whole time was something that I was interested in. But then like at the end, I was like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm all
and,
set.
you definitely got a handle on him once he basically owned that guy's house. Once he basically bet that guy into poverty and now
Yeah.
owns him. Like, I see where he's going. He's basically trying to take over the whole.
Yeah.
he's
That was
taking
cool
the
to
kingdom
see.
here.
I think
gotcha.
that was
Okay.
kind of
So-
interesting.
You know what this
So
little
for
weasel's
me-
trying to do.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like an hour in. I'm like, all right, you've given me so much in that first hour, and there's still another hour and a half. Where are you going to go with this?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, like it was nonstop. So I kind of appreciate that aspect
Yeah,
of it.
it moved.
It moved, and which Ridley Scott movies do. Like they move, and I for me that's my
Yeah.
quote unquote entertainment part of it, right? Like I was entertained because it kept moving. There wasn't really a lull. I wasn't going, oh shit, it's the perfect time
Yeah,
to go to the
thank God
kitchen,
for that.
right? But like after the first hour, I was like, it's been an hour. You've basically told the whole story.
Yeah.
How much more
Would
can
you? I have a
give
question.
me?
I have a question. Would you have rather seen like the siege take place where they're trying to overthrow them? Like, because they just made, they
Yeah.
got outed, right? Like, your little coup is over.
I think that's
Fuck off.
like that's just like if insert B-roll footage here of just a siege and regular combat. I guess.
No, but like if they went more with that storyline, they cut it off because he basically outed them, right? Denzel like got the information and he
If
told the
there- if
emperor,
there's
it's like,
one-
all right, we're just
yeah,
gonna
but
off you
so
because
here-
story.
Here's my issue with that whole siege thing and the 5,000 guys marching. They had some dude they've never seen show up with a ring they've never seen. They just
No.
I've seen
They
it.
knew that was his
I
ring.
get it.
They
I
knew
get
that
it.
was
Yeah, but like
Pascal's ring.
that guy
like,
knew the
where'd you get
ring,
that?
but like so here's the ring. Like, and I'm going to trust this Lucius guy who could just be anybody. Like, he's like...
I don't know, man. He got here pretty quickly. He kind of ran pretty fast.
That is what it is. They all march up, and then Denzel's like 60-year-old character fights like a 28-year-old killing machine, and it's an actual battle.
Yeah, he was pretty good at fighting for the guy that age.
That was really frustrating to watch.
Who can't stand to wear robes?
This is no.
Who can't wear robes comfortably?
Yeah,
he's fighting pretty good.
Like that whole thing could have been better.
There were several little points during all the little fight scenes that just pissed me off just a little bit. Like during the monkey scene when he's biting him, I'm like, the monkey could easily just like bite his head right now. Like, and it's like, oh, and I'm like, wouldn't it be
monkey was like,
doing something? Or when he's
left.
first like fighting the guy who pulls out like brass knuckles. I know they didn't have like that brass, probably was like iron, but like,
probably was.
but he had like the knuckles on, and he's like. He's taking these hits like that, and I'm like,
Yes.
in the face.
I noticed that too.
I don't know, man. I feel like he'd be knocked out pretty quickly. But
And can you imagine getting smashed with the butt end of a sword
right?
twice, and then just kind of
And
shrugging
he goes,
it off?
nah, I'm different. And I'm like, no, you're not. Not really.
Not
No,
that
your bones are
different.
the same. Your
And
facial
then it
bones
was
are the
that
same.
So the
ending
choreography-
fight. I was like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that's suspending disbelief.
Yeah.
Like this amazing fight scenes.
Like,
that
and
just
it was
can't
frustrating
last.
because the choreography was good in some parts, and then other times I was like,
No, that
really?
choreography was good, except the guy he was fighting should not have had gauntlets on. He
Yeah,
shouldn't have.
then it would've been great.
Then it would have been perfectly fine.
Well,
right?
he gave
wouldn't
him
have had-
gauntlets too. He threw them down. He didn't want
But
to
he
wear
didn't
them.
pick him up, though, and he didn't use them.
Yeah, but then
Let me
don't.
punch you in the face with spiked metal. Let me see how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think anybody here at this team would go, wow, that really
giant
fucking
dude.
hurt.
I'm fucking done. Thank
I'm
you
done.
very
I'm good.
much.
My mouth
Yeah.
is, my teeth, I'm spitting chiclets over here.
You just put a spike into my eye.
I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm good. You win.
Let's call it a
What
day.
else?
Well, that bothered me. Like so they gave Lucius gauntlets to use too.
So-
and he's
so-
just like,
no.
nah.
No,
What are
say-
you doing?
just
This
take it
giant
out.
Hulk is in front of you wearing the gauntlets. Put the fucking gauntlets on, man.
Just don't do that.
Fuck this
because
hubris shit.
It's the fact that he was wearing gauntlets, hitting Lucius a bunch of times, and Lucius kind of walked it off.
Yeah.
That was the hard part to believe. The fight
That's
itself
that
was
anger.
good.
That's that anger in him.
Yeah, the fight was good though, but like, don't. I mean,
Come out of him like milking a tit or something. What the
Yeah,
fuck
but
they
the
said.
big,
I don't know.
yeah,
the big guy he was fighting was a big, he was a
Rage.
strong dude, right? So show Lucius being tough by taking a strong dude's punch. That's totally believable. I can
Yeah.
buy that. Like, boy, that guy's fucking huge, and he just beat the crap out of Lucius, and Lucius kind of like, all right, he took it, but then now he's back. Don't give the big giant strong guy fucking gauntlets with spikes on them.
Life-ending gloves.
Life-ending gloves, and then punching Lucius, and Lucius doesn't even have a
Right.
cut on his face.
Yeah.
That
fuck
was
are you
so
doing?
annoying.
Right here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, and then when they're fighting in the arena, when like he was like head butted or sword butted a bunch of times, and they're just like, yeah, that's fine, I'm good.
No, I'm good. Please, you see what my wife does to me.
Holy
on a
shit.
fucking Friday night. I'm good. You think you got something? Nothing.
Just there were so many decisions
I
like that.
lost count of the amount of times Lucius alone probably would have gotten a concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
Yeah, he was
nah, I'm
fighting
all
the
set. I can go the rest of the movie.
I'm good.
They could have had
I
like
like that. I know the rest of the movie.
I got this cut on my arm. I'm
The
good.
ship is too big. If I walk, the movie will be over.
You know, a shout out though
This
to
is
the
fucking
continuity
Spaceballs.
people. They kept that right arm scar on his arm.
Yeah.
They did. I was
whole movie.
impressed
That was
to see
pretty
that.
Heal up.
Yeah. Let's hear it for continuity.
Let's hear it
all
for the
we
guys
got.
going.
That's all we got.
Let's put it back on.
Let's make sure he has that thing on the whole time.
My fun part was it shifted.
No,
From one arm to the other.
To the other arm. Ah, damn it, it was the right
Wasn't
arm.
your mole on the other? I
it-
have a mole.
Have a mole? That's exactly what I was thinking of, too. But then again, I mean, that could have all been filmed in the span of like 2-3 days at the beginning of the shoot, so we don't know.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh my god, that was on there the whole time. No, that was just like the first couple shots. After the first, they didn't
Filmed
need it
it all
anymore.
together.
They filmed it all together. Now you film the other shots.
Either way, it worked.
But either way it worked. There was a couple things. Why?
Yeah, they probably did all the Coliseum
So-
stuff in not
yeah.
one day, but like in a
But they
the
did
same
it together,
span because then they
right,
have to
same-
move production to somewhere
Right.
else.
What I didn't like is what you knew was gonna fucking happen. There was a lot of things. When he started to talk about Maximus, right? And he's like, why is that guy's name scratched out?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Maximus. You didn't answer the fucking question. Why was his name scratched out? Because I really wanted to know.
Yeah, why was it scratched?
desperately
Was
wanted
that
to
just
know
never
why.
answered?
Never answered. But then
Because
he brings him downstairs and he shows him the armor. I go, well, he'll be wearing that at the end of the movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
knew that.
Yeah, 100%.
And then no bullshit. When she's in the fucking jail with him and she's about to walk out and she turns around, I literally say, I go, strength and honor. She goes, strength and honor. I went, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your shitty writing.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
Thank you.
Oh no, I'm
oh my God.
He need a catalyst. He needs something. He needs stuff to spur him.
Yeah, but write it better.
So that's
Write
the
it
thing.
better.
Yes!
I like,
Oh my God.
I like callbacks, right? I really, really do. But the callbacks that I like are the sneaky callbacks.
Yes.
Like,
Cleverly done.
Not the
I
obvious
remember we
one.
saw his hand at the end. For us in the grass.
This was
And I'm like, man,
ham-fisted.
come on.
Yeah, like I needed.
No, you can flash back to original.
No, that was Russell Crowe's
to
hand.
Maximus.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
You can flash
So the
back
original
to
stuff-
Maximus with the lead. I
Yeah.
love that
I
when
love
he's in
that.
through the wheat.
Yeah.
But like you got to use that
yeah.
judiciously.
Right, you have to be
And-
clean with it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, when she stopped, she turned on, and I looked at the TV and went, strength and honor, and she said, I went, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck off.
Like that's
I
fucking
like when he's talking about his horses. And then,
Oh,
they,
yeah.
and they call
Yeah.
back when
Yeah.
when Denzel's trying to stab him, and he keeps hitting the
And
metal
he keeps
part.
hitting the metal. I was
It was
like,
not the three, the center thing, and the horses. That's all he's hitting.
So
That's all he's hitting is the same three things.
They constantly were like, Denzel's character, I forget his name, but Denzel's character. Everybody look it up. Everybody, quick. So his character is supposedly like an ex-combat veteran, right?
Yeah.
So here he is. He's got Lucius
Macrinus?
under the water,
Macrinus.
and he tries to stab him.
Yeah.
And the first stab hits the breastplate. The second stab, clearly he's like, I'm gonna stab in the exact same spot. He was like, boink, 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 boink. So you're telling me a combat veteran isn't gonna move the fucking sword around
He
and just
tried
keep stabbing?
to. No, listen. He tried to,
Wait, Larry has the answer.
but he had curtains on, so he couldn't get his arms around.
Lucius had
fucking
plot
did.
armor.
Literally.
He couldn't control his fucking curtains that he had on.
That's why they're
like,
way down
when
with
he
the
goes to
water.
fight him, I'm like, why wouldn't you take the fucking robe off and just go fight him? No,
Just a bunch of little things in those fights is just so
Yeah.
annoying.
What's
You
the-
would kind of take some of the robes
Well,
off.
wait a minute, not for nothing, but how did Denzel Washington literally catch up with the Praetorian Army? Like, he left after they did, because he was like,
They
they're
were
sieging
they on
his-
horses?
Well, they're going
No,
slower.
yeah,
They're going a little slower. He's
They're going slower
No,
because they
no,
keep
no,
it
because
together.
he was like, yo, he's marching down with 5,000 men. He was like, how many are we? He goes, we're 6,000. He goes, fuck, get after him now, go.
Yeah, but
Take
they were
everybody.
marching. Half of them were marching. Some, so they all stayed
Yeah,
together.
but see, that's
Man,
bullshit.
armies
though,
are
because-
So the horse guys were not like, they weren't going nearly as
Yeah,
fast as he was
I
going.
don't know, man.
And Lucius caught up to them too. And he left
That's also-
later.
that's also part of
But
it.
he
I
was
don't know
like
why.
fucking hauling
Then
ass on that
also-
horse.
so not
What
only that-
bothered me about that, because I like where you're going with it, is he got the fuck out of there. Nobody said anything. I was like, isn't that the Gladiator? Where's he going? Somebody stop him. Nothing.
He just cruised right
Nothing.
out.
He just cruised like, so long, fuckers.
and
Like, wait a minute. That's the guy they're all trying to kill. Like, shouldn't we stop him? Nobody.
and-
Not a
and
one.
part of that-
Let him go.
There he
Let him go.
goes.
So,
He earned
for
it.
the
Fuck
plot.
it.
We need to-
His
we need
mom
to
got
advance the
killed. He
plot.
earned it. Let him go.
like Quinn said, yeah, I guess you got to advance the plot somehow. But now,
Advance plot. Advance plot. Advance plot.
Fight your way out a little bit.
But during that part, though,
Like, knock a guard
they
over or
killed-
something on the way.
they with the arrows, dead.
How's that go? Just a second.
They're all dead. The women come out,
a minute.
down in the fucking chest, she's dead. The fucking city is in straight what the fuck.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
It's a riot.
the whole everybody decides this is a good time to riot. With that many fucking people, and now your army is now not even in the fucking city.
Yeah, all 6,000 of them are outside
like,
doing some.
How is everything not burning down?
Well, I mean, they already did it the night before.
So how, like, right? So
Cleared that
how,
up really quick,
so
though,
how
by the
do
next
these
day.
riots, it's like two separate stories happening. It's
Well,
like
there was the riots the night
and then-
before, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And then that day, everybody's back in the Coliseum. Like,
Back in the
"Ah,
Coliseum,
I know, we were
I
rioting
don't
last night, but
understand
we're
this.
okay now.
We're
good
right.
now.
But I really want to see the fight.
I really want to see the fight.
Guys, let's
the-
chill
the-
out.
the
Listen,
people-
I paid for these tickets. They're good seats.
good
I'm
seats,
not
that's
fucking
it.
throwing the money
I mean,
out.
the people
I couldn't
love him.
scalp them. I was outside. Nobody wanted them.
They wanted face value. I couldn't go less. Like the people love this general. And they said like if you kill him, the people will riot. Well, they killed him through the military. Not even like because like that was like a big moment. Like fuck this. Like if I'm the emperor, I'm going shit. This just backfired on me. Fucking kill him anyway. You kill him anyway. The city's gonna riot. They did, like you said, they
But
riot.
they weren't the smartest emperors, right? They were kind of bloodthirsty.
Yeah, they were-
And they really
Yes.
made them clowns. Like,
Oh,
in
yeah.
reality, those two emperors were like vicious military geniuses.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And the younger one actually had the older one killed in real.
Oh, so that makes sense then,
Yeah,
because the older
yeah.
one did get killed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but like they riot, but like you said, Marco, like the next day it's like back to normal.
It was
I'm
cool.
very confused. I'm like, wait a
I had a show to
minute.
go to.
Because plot requires it.
I got a show to hit. I gotta go.
Everything happened
The show
because
must
plot
go on.
requires it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Such lazy, bad writing.
Yeah.
When you don't
hit him
give,
only in the chest plate
you don't
because it
give
had to
reasons. Yeah, I'm gonna have him stab him 18 times, but into the chest plate. So
Because
he's
it needs
fine.
to.
What's this? A foot and a half?
It's a silly
Maybe.
analogy. It's a very silly analogy. But I used to watch The Office all the time, and there's an episode with like
You don't say.
like Dwight and everybody's like
Don't do
they're
it.
against Andy, whatever his name is, and they're pissy. They're being like doing this whole plot against him, right? Like this other guy who's like a temp, and like 5 o'clock hits. They're like, yeah, all right, let's see you tomorrow. Like, wait a minute, nothing. Like, no, 5 o'clock. I haven't taken this shit home with me. Like, this is fine. I'm just keeping this fight here at work. I'm going home. It's 5 o'clock. I'm out. I'm out, bitches. Like, that's it. They just killed the fight. The same thing happened. Like, the show's on. We can riot tomorrow. It's fine. I got a show to see.
We'll do it again
Show
tomorrow.
must go on.
Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah, I mean,
Not well.
no, it really was. I mean, the entertainment. Yeah, I heard that too. As we all look at each other like, what the hell was that?
Who's touching stuff?
Touch me.
There it is.
I mean, when, like you said, entertainment-wise, like I was, because the story, like the movie, I shouldn't say story, I'm sorry. The movie itself, it did move. The story had plenty of like, I don't plot holes. I don't even think it's a good word for it.
It's raining.
Sometimes it rains in here.
Sometimes.
When it rains, it rains.
So I don't want to say like plot holes, but it was just like story, stop. And they just hit brick walls, and it was like, okay, story. I'm like, wait, let's go back to the other story though. You didn't finish that. There's no. Can we tie these in? No, not. Yeah, I was a little upset at the end of it, going, I hate you. I'm glad I didn't pay for this. I'm happy for Dropbox.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Thank God for Dropbox, and thank God for sending this to my TV, because watching this on my phone.
Yeah, that's what I did. I sent it to my phone.
right to my TV.
I
and
watched it on my phone the whole time, and
Oh,
I'm
I'm
like,
so
doing
sorry.
it. No, I was doing a bunch of different shit. I was like,
Yeah.
got this on, and I was like,
Anything.
yeah, I go,
Yeah, you missed
You
nothing.
didn't miss anything.
I'm getting a
Let's go over
snack.
20 minutes. Missed nothing.
Yeah,
I wasn't crying about it.
fucking the baboons really pissed me off.
Yeah, it was right at the beginning too.
Like,
so
that was
you had-
right at the gate. I was like,
you had a
this is
bad
how
taste,
we're
no
doing
pun intended,
this.
and you got a bad taste in your mouth right from the beginning.
I was literally like, oh, God, it's going to be a cool gladiator battle. And the baboons came out. I was like, what the fuck?
Did
Yeah.
they have like? They had way more animal-related ones than like person one-on-one or like.
I mean, that
people
is
on
actually the
people
reality
ones.
of the world. There's a ton of animals.
There was, yeah, but like
it was like tigers.
not like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
vicious
like, not like
baboons.
this though.
They came out and
was
my wife
mostly
was like,
animals.
is that supposed to be a baboon?
But it'd usually be like dude versus
Why do they
bear,
have
or
giant
dude and dude versus bear.
saber-toothed teeth? Like,
Or maybe three dudes versus two bears.
That like,
Yeah.
you know what it reminded me of? Underworld. The fucking werewolves in Underworld.
yes.
Their
Yes,
mouths, the way that they would
yes.
protrude like that.
Oh yeah.
That's a good
That's
analogy.
what that reminded
Yeah.
me of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
Ridley
fair.
Scott going, just make it worse. Make it
How bad is
yeah.
it? Make
give
it
him bigger
worse.
teeth. Give him
We
bigger
need
teeth.
bigger teeth.
And you know the
But
animation
only
guys
some
are
of
like,
the
oh,
teeth.
yeah, this, I don't know how we're going to do this. Like,
Yeah, like
his teeth are way too fucking big for their mouth. What happens when they close their mouth?
they don't.
They
They
just
just
stab in
don't.
the brain.
They just
just
scream a lot.
and he bites his, and then he kills the one, and all the rest of the baboons like, oh, let's not fuck with anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Huh?
Bad. It was bad.
That's what I.
I think the rest of them were killed by everybody else.
Yeah, but they were like,
No,
Everyone else
five-
was like, oh,
I saw a
one-on-one,
few of them.
right?
They were like walking away.
They're like, oh, guys,
Lucius killed like
time.
one baboon, and they were all like, "Oh, you know what? We're done. We're
done.
out."
That
I didn't know
one
we
guy
could die.
all the way
Wait,
across
we
the
can
Coliseum.
die?
Whoa, what?
What? Time out.
No. I didn't sign up for this.
Wrong. Yeah. I don't know. So I mean, just overall,
Maybe the anger serum ran out.
maybe.
Yeah, but it looked like only like 3 of them were shot.
Well, there's only like fucking
How did they
5
not
of them.
accidentally shoot anybody? Well, my bad. We don't miss in this
Yeah,
movie.
we don't miss it.
Come on.
My bad.
You know
Listen.
that they're 100%.
The skill to hit a moving baboon's ass.
Using a blow dart.
Done. No problem. He's pissed. I play Assassin's Creed. I know how that shit works.
We got
But
3
he
of them, man.
highlighted
I'm sure
them.
they'll just hype each other up. That's fine.
Yeah, man.
I mean, again, it was
Only gonna hit
entertaining.
one. He'll hype the rest.
Yeah,
Hype,
whatever.
hype man.
Fucking
Exactly.
wild.
Hashtag baboon hype man.
Baboon hype man. What do we have?
So I was just doing a little research anyway.
Okay.
So there are historians who fact check these things, and rhinoceroses were known to be used during the games, but never ridden. They were vicious animals.
They're not. You don't
They're
ride
mean
rhinos.
animals. Like they are vicious fucking mean. They get pissy and they get mean. And they will gore the fuck out of you.
Yeah, that's
but they
pretty
were never
territorial.
ridden. They were never. That was movie
Yeah,
shit.
but like that's a Ridley
The
Scott. I'm willing
baboons?
to give him a pass on that. Like,
Yeah, but the baboons were used, like monkeys and baboons were used. I don't know if they were that vicious. Obviously, again, they hyped them up for the movie with probably much longer fucking teeth and things like that. But they were also used. Not a lot.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of animals. And the other thing they said was like the gladiators were handcuffed in this movie. Like they had the chains. They never would have done that because they're like money. They're like prize fighters. You wouldn't do that.
They did that in the first one too.
Well, it
didn't
depends.
they?
Some gladiators
That's like
were,
more, you know.
were
That was
like
wrist to wrist though.
celebrities.
Of
But
different
they
gladiators. So they
were
were
definitely
teams.
some slaves that were sacrificed to gladiators, and they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have bothered handcuffing them because when you're a peasant facing down like a gladiator who's experienced with a sword, you got no shot.
You know, or
So
the
they're not
baboons.
worried about him like surviving this somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or potentially using them. You know what I mean? As they did.
But like that's I'm willing to give Ridley Scott like a pass on that. Like normally, like in real Roman or back historical battles, they don't fling. I know they like to do it, but they don't fling like balls of fire. You know, they don't use flaming arrows to the way you see it used a lot. Like that is not a thing that really.
Would they
happens.
even give them projectiles?
No, I'm talking about like in the battle when they attacked
No,
the
like
village.
just like in real life, would they
the
give
guards and
the?
stuff had not the gladiators, but the guards had them.
Because they had the crossbows on the boat
Oh
one.
yeah, on the boat.
I was like, why would they give them projectiles?
No. I think what it was though is one boat was the gladiators, the other boat I think was like soldiers,
the soldiers.
like
Well,
Roman
so
soldiers.
They got the.
That was a great idea to bring projectiles.
Well, the Roman
they had to, they were
soldiers
killing
had
the
them. They were like,
gladiators.
we're
Yeah.
gonna kill the gladiators because we're not.
But when they
gonna lose.
they got and they rammed their boat and got
They're like,
onto
oh,
it, they
shit.
took
So I
they
think
took
that's
them.
how-
Okay, so I
what- that's what
thought
got
like
crossbow.
both boats just had. I was like,
No,
why?
gladiator boats did not have.
That's
projectiles.
such a bad
they rammed them
idea.
and jumped onto their boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did
Is it
like
me
it.
or did his calluses heal really fast?
Wicked fast.
I mean, it's just the next day he's like, yeah, I'm good.
Oh, it's
Fuck
a
off.
montage.
Like,
Come on.
dude,
That's
like
training
you're
montage
you're
for
there
ladies.
doing that. The
Music in
guys
the
like
background.
putting the solvent on your really fucked
I
up
was
hands.
vinegar.
The next day he's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm all set. I get
No,
my
no,
hands
for
are
nothing.
fine.
His-
Nah,
work-
I've had
working-
calluses. You know,
I've used
mini golfing
old
and like
shovels,
now.
like just those old
Yeah.
wooden shovels
Yeah.
that have been sitting
For
in
like
the
an
fucking,
hour, yeah.
For like an
And
hour, I'm
that's
like,
all
yeah,
it
I can't even like my hands are
Yeah.
raw, like you can see through them. This
Yeah.
motherfucker was on that rowboat train.
Yeah, but he hadn't. Like that night when what's his name was healing
I know.
them, you could see
So,
them.
but
They were
what I'm
like
saying, though-
fucked up.
What I'm saying is
the next
there's-
day he's fine.
Right, but what I'm saying though is there's no way he's lasting that long. Like like it started in the morning. By
You
afternoon,
saw
I'm
the
like,
light
yeah, I'm good.
change. You saw the light
Yeah,
change.
no, it was night
Right.
by the time he had stopped.
So-
Well, I mean, look, he's essentially a slave. So even if he wants to quit, he's got to keep going. Even if he's going super slow or not getting it done completely, like maybe the guy just. In the show, they didn't show him like really tiring. He kind of kept
Yeah, he
going,
just kept going.
which is bullshit.
Yeah.
But, like,
Oh, yeah.
But
That's part of
he
like,
you know, in reality,
how do you hide your cake?
in reality, he'd be like slumped over the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It was by the end of it, but not soon enough.
When you don't have it, when you can't stop because someone's going to
That was
kill
really
you.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. You made a comment like, "We're never gonna get there like this," and he's like, "Fuck it. You know what? You're gonna grow for the rest of the day. Everybody take the day off." What?
Everyone
That didn't
day
even-
off except for this dude.
That didn't even like make sense.
That
If you're
didn't
gonna
make
create tension,
That
you're
like,
gonna
it was
show
so
these a
weird.
rebel
That whole scene
by
was
making
so
a
weird.
snide comment. Like that's fucking
That would have been like
shitty writing.
like they would have kept the other
In
people
this
working.
movie?
In this
Yeah, take
economy,
the day off. Nah, it doesn't happen. They just found something else for them to do. So there you have it. All right, so let's do a
one
little.
big
We
sigh.
ready for a little? Hold on, let's see if
ready.
I can do because I lost my.
This podcast.
Nope, not that one. There it is. There we go. Sorry, it's just wrong button there. I don't have my plate on here. It's posted on there.
Oh, you know, it probably is. I didn't put it on this.
That's
sorry.
all right.
So let's start. Budget. Mila.
300 million.
Budget.
Well, it was Ridley Scott, and the production value was pretty high. That's a good guess.
That's actually not a
It's
bad.
like
That's,
CG costuming, like the actors that got in this.
have you been doing research on what a proper budget is for movies?
No, I just know what big budget movies are roughly now.
Okay, good. That's a good
I'm
sign.
starting to
You're
get an
to figure it
idea.
out. She's like 25 million. Like, oh, that's cute.
That's a really fucking good guess.
Still not a bad
2.5,
number.
3 years of doing the podcast.
There was a ton of CGI.
Because I literally, the second this segment ends, I forget every number. I go like,
washes out like those sharks out of the Coliseum.
what movie did we just see? $3.
$3.
Shit, that's a really good one. I'm gonna Price is Right it and go $2.99.
Okay.
My price is right and go 301.
Real White is going the opposite way.
200.
Ooh. Closest to not going over would be Quinn. 250 million. So quarter of a bill was the budget.
So I was closest, 49 million.
Without going over.
I was close.
Oh, that's right,
without
no,
going over.
without going
If your
over,
price is writing it, you went over.
Yeah, you went. All three of you went over.
Right.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah, maybe anything for playing. So it's 250. What was the gross worldwide box office?
This one came out to streaming pretty quick.
It did.
But you know what? Though I
feel like it got panned, so I can't imagine it would have done amazing.
I'll give you a little bit of a little sneaky. It made more internationally than it made domestically.
Sure,
though.
I'll buy that.
I mean,
Are we only
I'm
doing
gonna
US
go-
box office?
no, worldwide.
worldwide.
I'm gonna go
worldwide.
650.
Ooh, Mila.
625.
Ooh,
550.
ooh,
549.
ooh. You're all wrong.
Suck.
449.
449. Oh,
So we'll call it 450 because it's like 449.
Take the scores off the board. Start again.
Yeah, so the worldwide was 450. Budget was 250, so it's made 1.8. Not really a big
I mean, it's
smasher.
considered a flop.
I mean, yeah, because what was it? It's double, right?
Is it
Four
X?
times.
4x. So
I have to look up. I believe it's 4. Yeah, something like that. So it's like, hey, we made our money back. Cool. We made enough to make another movie.
Just barely, yeah.
So I mean,
And not even like a blockbuster because they only make 250.
Yeah, no, I mean,
exactly.
it made enough to get it if they wanted to make another movie, sure, because they could finance another
right?
movie.
That's
Because at
pretty
least
much all it
it
did.
made money. It made money.
It did make its money.
It made more than some other movies that we probably thought.
That still haven't made their budget, and it's
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 years later.
So
Look at you.
We're working on it. We're working
Looking
on
at
it.
you, Captain Marvel.
We're working on it. We'll get there. We're working on it.
Every once in a while, I look it up just to see like
how we doing on
where
that?
Captain Marvel is.
What's it at right now?
Let's look
The
it
first
up.
one or the Marvels?
Let's look up the Marvels actually.
I bet there's no way that's made us money back.
I bet
I mean,
you
don't even worry about
Eternals.
Madam
I bet
Web
you
until that's
Eternals
stopped
is
up.
crushing it.
They canceled the
Jesus.
Eternals 2, so I doubt it.
Thank God. Thank
They
God.
canceled that one. They took that off the
We
slate.
can,
Yikes.
we can address
No
that in
way.
the What If episode.
Yeah, we can. Yes, we fucking can.
Oh my
Yeah, and we will.
Yeah,
Can't
we
wait to
will.
get- I can't wait to get to talking
Yeah, so
about
so
that.
just to give us a little insight
get outta here.
where the Marvels are.
Oh, me too. Yeah. This is going
I
to be
got
good.
hellfire to spit.
The Marvels worldwide is 199,
What was the budget to make?
274.
Oh my god!
Good. Be done.
Damn.
Be done. Right? Just be done.
Guys, just go home. Just walk.
Stop.
Fucking wrap it
Yeah,
up.
we'll see them again.
Welcome
in,
to the MC. You're joining at a bit of a low point.
We'll see
Yeah.
them in the next Avengers, but that'll be about it.
Hopefully not.
We will.
No, we are because Kamala's going to be whatever rendition of the Young Avengers,
we'll
whatever they're
see
going to
them.
call them.
We'll see the Avengers in Doomsday.
Yeah, I think actually the Young Avengers, I think they're going to rename them the Champions because they're trying to, I was watching something like last week, whatever, they're trying to be careful. They're being careful of the marketing for the Avengers.
Why did they call it the Revengers?
Revengers.
Already taken.
That would have been amazing. Thor's suggestion.
Yeah, the Revengers.
The Revengers.
That's a great idea.
That would have been a good
Sell it. We'll make
callback.
millions.
All right, so are we rating this movie today?
Yeah.
Oh
Why
yeah,
not?
let's do this.
Go ahead, Mila.
I need a sound inserted here of a toilet flushing.
I had 2 3/4.
2 3/4, 2.75, huh?
I can get through it. I've watched worse.
Out of
You have a
Five.
shirt
It's
on.
always out of 5.
Yes, it's out of 5.
It's always out of 5.
Always out of
And
5.
you can do
It's
quarters.
out of 5.
You can go quarters.
We can do quarters now. That's been established.
Yes.
Quinn?
I've been waiting for that. I've been eating
can I have the trombone sound?
The fuck do you think this is? It's not magic. I can't just pull sounds out of my ass. Well, some.
I thought you heard the womp 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 womp.
You know what? I don't have my thing.
No, it's
I'd have to hit every fucking one of them to find it. I know we put the thing on.
Anyway,
I don't know which one it is.
that's my vote.
That would be so you don't have one.
You're doing great, Bruno.
That's Bruno's
Oh, is
rating.
that?
Wow.
Big toilet flush from Bruno.
Wow, really? Worst movie that you've seen?
It can't be. You've had to
Because
watch
you've had
worse.
some
Come
really
on.
shit ones come out here, but you've never brought out the toilet bowl. You've never brought the toilet bowl out.
Right, I haven't.
Mila is
Willie-
literally wearing the fucking shirt.
Facts.
Well, I wasn't.
What?
I wasn't on the Eraserhead. Thank God.
Oh, God, Bruno.
Yeah, that
We'd
one.
still-
That one. Just listening to you guys.
We'd still be talking about it.
I'll still die on that hill. I don't care.
That's fine.
I'll die on that hill any day.
I'm gonna give it
11 minutes of no
talk.
dialogue from the beginning.
That's my
Fuck
type. That's
that
right up my
movie.
alley.
Crazy. It's crazy.
That type of bullshit's
All in the
right
name of
up
art,
my
though.
alley.
All right. All in
That's,
the name of art.
that's why I watched
Who's
the
art?
Nosferatu movie. I was like, let's go see it.
I wanted to go see that.
Yeah? Why
I really
not?
do. Not why not?
You
I had
should-
no time.
you should go see it.
I'd love to.
I found my rating.
Okay.
Oh, great. Why did you need your computer? Or your phone? Your computer, Jesus.
There we go.
There's his race. We got a toilet bowl. Womp, 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 womp.
Would you say 2.75?
I said a number.
You said
Sorry.
an actual fucking number?
I'm gonna give it like. I'm gonna give it 2.5 because I was entertained. It was fast moving. There's so many fucking plot. Like again, not so much plot holes. 'Cause
No,
I
there's
saw
some
where they
plot
were
holes.
going. No, they were just plot stoppages. They were just
There were some
fucking
stoppages.
walls. Like there was story stoppages.
I'm gonna
they
give
got
it
writer's
a 1.
block, but then
I'm gonna
you
give
give
it
it
a
one,
1.
a solid one?
There's got to be
Because you
room
can't
to
give
go
it a 0.
lower.
Is that the
No, I
problem?
could
You
give it
have
a
to have
0.
room to go lower.
I could give it a 0. I don't think it
0?
was. I think they
The
could
one
have
for
done a worse
cinematography.
job. So I gotta give it a little space in there.
1 for cinematography.
Like, you know there's
one,
movies
and
out
then
there.
Also, I'd like to prescribe a punch to the face for whoever wrote it.
Yes.
For the writers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all.
Talk about the callbacks. Not
I
only was
mean-
the mother the callback, but the senator that she was talking to, the old guy, he was in the first one
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
Dies at the end.
the one that
Yeah.
got fucking stuck.
Yeah, they cut his throat. They slice his throat off.
They slice his throat.
Yeah, right after she
Oh,
like,
yeah,
after
yeah,
she,
yeah.
and then they
yeah.
do the whole thing and she got killed. They're like,
Yeah.
"Fah."
The old guy. So
Did you rate it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Y'all
He's
shut the fuck up. What do you want from me?
we're ranting.
I'm with Mila. I'm at a 2.75.
2.75.
Yeah, 2.75.
2.75, where like a 3 is average. Is that right? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
A 3 is
Yeah.
essentially
Yeah, three's a
I have
an
C.
seen-
average movie.
And they
Look,
say that
I have
they
seen
say it's-
movies that
I
are
did not
way
find it
worse
to be a
than
big
this
toilet
one.
flush like you did. I don't find it's under average movie, but it's close to an average
It's
movie,
closer
which
to
means
average.
average is
Super
not
middle
a
of the
good
road.
average is not a good scale. Like you know,
Yeah.
like
No,
average.
it's not a
when I
great
say
scale, but it's
average
also
movie,
not, like, bad.
averagely
If
movies
I
will
were
suck.
like, it's average.
I
then
will-
it's kind of like
It's an average-
I could watch it again if it was on.
Well, that's why it's below average for me. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
That
not gonna
being
watch it.
said-
I'll
again.
skip right past it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said,
Yeah.
if 0 is allowed, then the average would be 2.5.
He's not wrong. From
Oh
0 to
fuck!
5,
So now I have to
average
lower it
is
because that's above average. Fuck that. All right, 2.25. 2.25. I still want to be below average on this one.
that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I'm just like 2.25, 2.5. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not watching the. I'm not even putting it on in the background, to be honest with you. And it really, and you know, and it sucks too because again, when you watch these
Nah, I'd
previews,
much rather put
For
on
me-
hardcore porn.
facts,
Movies that are boring
Is it hardcore
are worse
pawn?
than this.
Pawn, not
Just so
Movies
everybody
that
gets
I
it.
actually am bored
She's gonna
by
never
are much
clip of
worse
that.
than this for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it
That-
wasn't
like, it's so much
it
worse, 'cause
wasn't
then I can't even
boring.
watch anything.
Yeah. I'll buy
It
that.
wasn't
Yeah,
boring.
I'll buy that. It wasn't boring.
That-
If it was
Right,
boring,
yeah.
oh my god.
It moved along. It wasn't
Yeah.
And
boring.
that's,
I
so
gotcha.
those are the things that are keeping me up. Is the cinematography was phenomenal as
it
usual.
was.
Like Ridley Scott's
Yeah, it
got
was.
a great
The soundtrack,
eye. The
things like
soundtrack
that.
was really good.
Yeah.
It kept moving. The story sucks.
Okay,
The
1.5.
acting-
All right.
All right. The story sucks, which I've over the last couple I'm so with you, Bruno. Like now I'm watching movies going, I want to see how this is written. Like, not only do I want to be entertained, meaning I want to shut my brain off, not really think.
Yeah,
I just
that's
wanna-
a part of it.
I want,
Yeah.
but give me a good story. Like I'm looking for a good story now, and I blame
Right.
you for that.
And I'm sorry.
No, that's quite all right because now I'm being like I'm more of an asshole, right? I'm more of
My
that
standards just went up.
so I'm like, go fuck off, up your
Yeah,
ass. So yeah, there's certain things about that completely take me out. the able to see like the callbacks I like, but then you have those other shitty callbacks where I saw it coming away.
Yeah. You can't see it coming.
Yeah.
Otherwise that's terrible.
And that's how I feel about all movies. Like, if I could see the callback about to happen, I'm like,
when you're watching a
not
movie
clever.
and you're like, don't do it. Oh,
And then they do it.
Yeah.
I hate.
You know they fucked that up.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, 2.25, 2.5. That's, bye. I'm done.
Stop touching the shit.
Oh, sorry.
Larry just took off.
That's the no touchy touchy
That's the
mic.
no touchy mic.
I've had that
took
mic
off
like
his
the
earphones
past
and
like
dropped
several
them.
You
times.
should put a tag on it or something so we know.
There was something on there. All right, excellent. There it
Larry
is.
has left the building.
King, that is Gladiator 2.
Yippee.
The search for more money. Fucking movie was.
I'm actually
19 years later.
Broke even.
20 years later.
Yeah,
24.
I'm glad that there wasn't like some like little subtitle, just Gladiator 2. Like that's it, right?
Yeah.
Like so I'm glad that they didn't like someone's Lucius comes back. Or, like there's no stupid tagline. It was just Gladiator 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lucius
okay.
is revenge.
I like something that's like a pet peeve of mine is like badly done exposition. And at the beginning, I was a little worried because I start seeing the cards explaining the past, and I go, this better not go on for a single second more. Luckily, it did stop after like 3, but I was like,
this is what happened.
I was
he got
like,
fucked off. He
you
died
couldn't even just
16 years later.
There's too much. Let me sum up.
Do you know why you're not going to see badly done exposition in this show? Because there was no story at all.
There was no good
Yeah.
So
exposition.
there was
nothing to expose.
nothing at all. There was
Nothing to talk about.
There was no dialogue. There was
Hey,
no
they got a bunch of
writing.
sticky swords. Let's go. And a fucking rhino somebody's riding. What?
Hey, you know what?
I've seen-
some
yeah.
sharks in there.
So some
sharks.
sharks with freaking laser beams.
Oh, and they just shat on the ending of the first one. Pretty much.
No, they did. Well, how
Why do you say
I
that?
feel that because that's how I feel because there's still emperors, and the whole point of the first one was to make it so there's no more emperors.
Yeah, but it continued anyway.
It's
we know
Rome.
historically Rome continued,
Yes,
and those
I
two
know.
emperors were crazy, and they did come after.
Yes.
and there were people after him,
Yep.
after them.
Yep.
Yep. There it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Entertainment Rants. We are, like I said, we are back in 2025. We have a schedule now, so we're recording every couple of weeks. We're recording a couple episodes. We should be back to regular weekly episodes. Keep your fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Bruno.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mila.
No problem.
There you go.
No.
Thank you, Q199.
Are you not
Yes.
entertained?
And thank you, Larry.
Thank
All right, ladies and gentlemen, find us online at entertainmentrants.com. Find us on our social media at Entertainment Rants. Drop us a line. Let us know what you thought of the show. Let us know what you thought of Gladiator 2. See if you're in Bruno's camp. Let's see his shit on this movie like we did.
Oh, so bad.
So bad. All right, everybody. We will see you on the next one, ladies and gentlemen. What are we going to go do?
Rant, let's rant.